Mm.
Attention. Please report.
Made it in free of undue kerfuffle. Now to unseal that hangar.
Buy all the ammo. I keep quitting cancel. There we go. Clicking cancel. Okay. Okay. A lot going on in there. What is this way? Auto dock. Stairs. Part of me wonders what Tristan would say if we brought him on the mission, given that these are his former friends. Messages. Transport delayed. Deployment prohibition has been overridden by Consul Emery Thoreau. A small transport containing scientists and automechanical defenses has been authorized to travel to Horizon Point Station. Any attempt to stop deployment is punishable by trial or refreshment. 12 personnel of the Providence. Shore leave is hereby prohibited to all crew, including scientists. It is imperative that you remain focused and on duty. Intake personnel are to report to their superiors for reassignment.
Attention, crew deck. Intruder alert. Be vigilant.
Okay.
Looks like the cavalry's just rolled in.
Okay. Well.
Resorting to violence.
Enemy resistance.
Oh. Oh, come on.
Target analyzed.
There's one lone dude back here.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified. Now that you have finished showing extreme prejudice to our enemies, let us coordinate.
Hi, Ruth. Did not expect you to be on the front lines. I know she said she would be, but I didn't expect it to be, like, actually front lines. Oh, it's both of them.
In spite of your success thus far, the hard work is not yet finished. You still need to seize the rift modulator and end the console's machinations, by force if necessary. Both the modulator and the conductor of this ill-conceived plot are on the decks above us. However, there are security protocols you will need to bypass in order to access them.
Glad you're here, but don't tell me these are the only troopers you brought.
Two of the strongest individuals in Arcadia aren't enough for you? Or perhaps you need a quick bowl of purpleberry crunch for an added boost of moxie.
A precision strike team meets the requirements of this mission. Bringing any more troops would
She
have
literally
been
gave us a box of
excessive.
purpleberry crunch. What kind of security
Each
protocols?
deck has its own restrictions, and the lift can only be operated with access credentials, such as a pass card. But these are limited to certain personnel, so it may be difficult to locate one. An alternate route through the engine room is viable, but there is a high likelihood that you will encounter automechanical defenses. Much on this ship, it seems, is not for the eyes of the rank and file. Indeed.
Gonna move on.
I will hold position on this level to ensure you are not flanked by enemy reinforcements. Look for me once you have reached the uppermost level. We will regroup there.
Okay, I'm guessing that that door is the way through. Okay, got it. Tin can. Proficient purveyor of provisions.
If you must replace lost equipment, please submit proof of punishment. Unit does not accept blood. Please make a request.
Open vendor.
Displaying inventory.
Don't think there's anything really here. Multi-launcher. See, I knew there was a reason to come up here. What if you threw a grenade and blew up Auntie and Ruth at the same time? That would be kind of funny, right? Lift transport.
What's going on down there, Deck 01? I saw an intruder alert.
No alert here, Cadet. Might want to check your systems.
Acknowledged. This intercom is to be used for emergencies only. Misuse of this intercom will result in prompt arrest and correction of the perpetrator. Now, how can I assist you, Deck 01? Something it...
Resorting to violence. Discombobulating enemy.
Okay, well apparently I needed to find some other info first. Got it. What's this way? Recall elevator.
If we make it out of this alive, what say you put those skills to helping out around the cognito? She could use a little more of that lovely touch.
They did a good job clearing out in here. I love the, like, crazy Protectorate music they've got playing in the background. Well, we have an elevator to the next level, so that might be enough. I'm guessing that way is what she was saying, like through security. Okay, science deck access.
I reckon we can look for those access credentials if you wanted to avoid a fight. Sneaking around's always an option too. Anyway, the modulator has got to be on this deck. We should poke around, but quiet-like. See what information we can uncover.
Disable security.
Oh, we can carry this momentum through to the console.
Ah, got it. This is the alternate way up. So if you didn't have the engineering skills or the lift, science tech access credentials, and rift residue. There we go. Access credentials acquired. Salmon. Biological samples, if only you had one. And there's lots of biological samples. That's 1% damage, nice. Rift anomaly there. Examine. In the frantic scribbles of the equations you can't understand, there's a single phrase you can read. There is no answer. Secrets of the universal equation.
Anathema to the grand plan and begs for correction.
Examine. The corpse who have been reconstituted like the Protectorate soldiers on Horizon Point. There are clear incision marks suggesting the beginnings of a dissection. Biological sample. 4 in here. You notice irregularities with the atomic structure, damaged atoms slightly out of place. In layman terms, once something goes into a rift, it doesn't come out the
How
same.
could the Council believe any of this to be in accordance with the plan? A correction is inevitable, and such events are rarely pretty.
Don't mind me and my scythe. Chief scientist.
Law, look at the size of that thing. No way we're getting the modulator off the ship.
You.
Best
I don't
we can hope is
recognize
get
you.
closer and
Identify
learn more
yourself
about it.
immediately.
Search the body. Hope we find something to help us access the modulator.
Note self, Reed is plagued by cowardice. Anger, mismanagement. You get irrationally angry at this smallness of sight. In your fear, you're worse at blocking, but your power attacks deal more. We'll reject that. Jude, you are the chief scientist aboard the Providence, with the expertise to recognize that an impossible request is just that, impossible. You know that this plan of reconstitution is doomed to fail. Do not be crippled by your desire for self-preservation any longer. You must convince our leaders that what they seek is folly. When the time is right, take the schematics and your report from the module in the rift modulator chamber. Attach to the access credentials to the command desk. No more excuses. Stand before the console and speak the truth for once in your matriarch-given life. Okay. Access Rift device.
Accessing report. Rift restoration analysis.
Okay.
Compiled by Chief Scientist Monserrate. Marked for delivery to Consul Thoreau.
Continue.
Esteemed Consul, after much analysis, my conclusion is that the modulator we have worked tirelessly to build will not function as intended when used for reconstituting matter from rifts. Every test of reconstitution has resulted in demonstrable failure. Proceeding as we are now with Horizon Point Station will surely lead to severe, unanticipated consequences.
Okay.
The modulator is only effective at closing rifts from unsafe distances. Using it to close exacerbated rifts will certainly lead to the destruction of any vessel carrying it. Unfortunately, the data that we originally had hoped for from the ancient rifts detected in the far reaches of space untouched by humanity has not yielded any of its secrets. And we are now out of time. All of our recent readings suggest that we're on the verge of losing control of this rift. I recommend diverting from our current plan before it is too late for Arcadia. I've included extensive notes and annotations appended to the modulator schematics to substantiate these conclusions. I know you will guide us wisely, my dear Consul.
Will he? Take data cartridge with Rift modulator schematics.
Proceeding to attack.
This can't be right. If Spitfires are causing drifts, why are they showing up past the frontiers of known space? That's all right. We won't have to worry about it. Right now, you should concentrate on
Target analyzed. Lay down fire. Deploying discombobulator. Combatant scan.
Got my lab rolling on point.
This fucking turret.
Showing confusion. Do try to limit further damage, Commander. Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Edgar. Calm down, buddy.
Have a fix on their weaknesses.
Another dragoon.
Fortificator is charged. Check your scope for combatant analysis. Combatant scan.
Y'all need to give us some space. Give the order, and I'll take care of them, Commander.
Looks like they may be coming.
Analyzed. Lay down.
somewhat ad nauseum.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Ready to take
Come on.
off you, Commander.
Command deck access. I was like, they might be coming non-stop, in which case that's not going to be helpful. Okay, command deck.
Your punctuality is as commendable as ever. How did you fare in securing the rift modulator?
Can't secure or operate it until we control the ship, but I do have its schematics.
Yet one more hindrance to overcome in this endeavor. Nevertheless, I expect you to guard those plans
It's okay,
closely in
Edgar.
the interim. Did you find anything else of note?
Apparently, the rifts have been found in space where humanity has never been. Ruth's still with me?
When one learns information that rattles their understanding of the universe, one may take a moment to consider the gravity of said information. We know that rifts are only caused by skip drives, so if they are appearing in non-colonized space, then this is truly momentous. It proves definitively that life did not originate on Earth, and may, in fact, exist elsewhere in other forms.
Not sure about your conclusion. We should investigate further.
Of course, I wouldn't want to discount these findings too quickly, especially considering the implications.
I concur. This is a discussion for later, with laureates in attendance. For now, we must confront the consul before he wrests that future away forever. He is just through those doors. I have run the numbers, and should you wish to negotiate with the consul, you must be strategic. He will not react well to a direct attack on his character or methods early on.
Talk about people losing faith in his
It
leadership.
certainly may. At which point we may find the opening needed to convince him to stand down.
I might tread a mite lightly, dear. If I know the consul's type, and I do, his ego can take only so many hits before his guns do the talking. Simply goading may not be ideal.
We'd be losing the element of surprise. So if you want to negotiate, best not muck it up.
You should take this time to prepare. Replenish your supplies. Explore your environment for any advantages. Consider what options you may have in the event negotiations fail. And if there is anything more you need to say to me or your companions, I encourage you to divest yourself of these diversionary thoughts while you still can.
Okay. We've already bought all of the... Hack 20. Important updates. Intruder alert. Okay. Change of command. Sovereign Henry Varrick's command removed. Consul Emery Thoreau registered as Chief of Command. Command deck access privilege without express permission of Sovereign Henry Varrick. Automechanical routine to deliver meals and correspondence established. We don't have 20 hacking. Emery. I regret the way we left things after our last meeting. Grandmother always said that if a disagreement ends in shouting and rising tempers, it is wise to look inward at your own ills before proceeding. I hope sincerely that you have done so. While I may not fully understand your aims with the Rift research, or with using it to our advantage, as you said, I am willing to acknowledge them as valid, but you must in turn understand that my decision is final. It is what is right for my people, my Arcadia, and my family. Do not doubt me, friend. I wish you to know that I still cherish your guidance dearly. Perhaps when the war is over, we...
The Sovereign was a naive fool. The Consul, a scheming sprat with delusions of competence. Time will tell which was more destructive.
Ah, Redactor Esmond. Very punctual, good. Don't take a seat, this will be quick. My sentinels tell me you have some interesting ideas. Oh, easy, no need to break into a sweat. Interesting ideas can be useful in the right hands. Especially now that our partnership with the Order has become fraught. We may need our own version of their pacifying doctrine.
Oh, so I do have a germ of an idea. A less grand version of the grand plan. Instead of atoms and particles and such, it's made up of us. All doing our part, like cogs in a machine.
Interesting. A system where every subject believes they have a role to play. Enthusiastic obedience. Why, the Sovereign and I were thinking of this very thing. What should we call it?
Well, I'm not sure. It's still just a germ of a concept, of a hint of an idea, you see. It's a whole new way of thinking. A new model of society. Quite the paradigm shift.
Paradigm. Very good, Esmond. Say, you look frazzled, troubled by your own thoughts. Why don't you report to mental refreshment? My staff will personally see to your well-being.
This is it, Commander. This is the mission we should have been on from the moment the Earth Directorate dropped us into the system. Liberating Arcadia from its despots.
You helped make this possible, Miles. Thank you.
I think of it as more of a group effort, but you're welcome. You know, back in the day, reading tales of all your daring do's, never could have imagined myself fighting alongside you. Not just as a fellow agent, but also a friend. Funny how life turns out. All right, enough jawing. Let's show the consul to his reward. Law knows it's long past due.
Focus on accomplishing the task at hand.
Before I forget, here, this might help you serve our mutual interests.
Biomass grenade. I don't think I ever tried the goomerang. Let me fire it when I'm not with those two. Okay, I love that. Alright, let's see what's behind this door.
The distinguished presiding bishop herself has deigned to join us. What a charming surprise.
Don't overlook the main attraction, dear. I even wore my finest battle attire.
I might have known you'd conspire with our enemy and lead some foolhardy crusade against me. Loyalty has eluded you for years, after all. Sentinels, if you would.
Forming an alliance was necessary to combat the irrationality of your foolish endeavor. Those who fail to show reason do not deserve to lead this colony. Now, stand down.
I will not. I am saving this colony from itself, and ridding it entirely of traitors and trespassers like you.
You also claim you were saving Sovereign when you stabbed him in the back?
Do not place his decision at my feet. I know it's difficult for the likes of you to fathom the concept of self-sacrifice, but he chose mental refreshment for the good of us all. And what am I to do but carry on his legacy? What am I to do but achieve what he could not?
Yeah. Stop using the rift modulator now.
Such bravado is unbecoming when you can't make good on your promises, Commander. Tell me, did you manage to stop us from bringing your peace talks to a swift end? As I recall, Greater Tranquility was reduced to little more than mangled ruins in a single moment.
Greater Tranquility Station was a test?
It was a modest success. I had hoped it'd hobble Auntie's choice in the Order once and for all, but it has proven to be a valuable lesson in patience. I was able to buy the time to enact the very plan before you. Though, judging from that vacant expression on your face, it would appear you've no idea what I intend.
Go ahead and enlighten me.
Very well. Once the rift destroys Arcadia, we shall edit the information stored within it and use the modulator to reshape our colony into its perfect form. Horizon Point's destruction all those years ago was a tragedy, yes, but without it, we might never have opened our eyes to our true purpose and the possibility of Arcadia's rebirth. When the matriarch discovered the first skip drive, she set us on a course to elevate humanity. We're now writing our path, and I will do my part as the architect intended.
I already know the matriarch didn't invent skip drives. Why is that relevant?
Intrepid, aren't you? Well, what's relevant is what came after. Our matriarch dissected this skip drive technology, learned its secrets, and enabled us to produce them en masse, which eventually led to the manifestation of rifts. But it was not until well after Horizon Point's untimely end that we understood the opportunity gifted us. The opportunity to reconstruct the colony in its perfect form. It is as the Grand Architect designed. And believe you me, I've no intention of letting you thwart our securing of a better future. One free of doubt and greed.
I know you think your plans are but you'll reconsider if you hear me
It's
out.
your time that's running out, not mine. So go on. Tell me all the ways I'm wrong. Better yet, tell the whole room how His Eminence, the Sovereign, was wrong. This was originally his plan, after all. I am merely a partner seeing it carried out.
It's futile. You're losing the support of your people, and there's no undoing that.
Yes, well, we also lost the support of the Order. But can one truly call that a loss? We would have drowned already in the seas of war with the weight of their inaction around our necks.
Reality would dispute that fact, given that it is I who has invaded your sanctum, and not the other way around. The Order has always been the Protectorate's more capable half.
Edgar.
I can scarcely recognize the Bishop standing in front of me. To think that I welcomed your ascension all those years ago. Orlo was at least amenable, moldable, teachable. But you've been nothing but disappointment. You're so busy chasing figments of the future, you don't even know they're leading you off the side of a cliff.
It sounds oddly personal.
To a man of such expansive pride, all perceived slights become personal. Recall, Emery, that we once worked together toward the same aims. You made us enemies when you started down this unconscionable deviation from what is best for Arcadia.
I will not be blamed for your treacherous actions. A true Protectorate subject knows that adhering to the Sovereign's words is what's best for Arcadia. And you were never true. The same can be said for any subject who wavers. They are dead weight, and we must cast them off straight away. Once I win the war and leave those naysayers behind, harsh action will be swiftly forgotten. And once I provide for the needs of my subjects, I will have them forever.
Your strongest supporters aren't immune to seeing reason.
Indeed. That's why my strongest supporters wholeheartedly believe in me and the Protectorate cause.
Acquired info not found. Sure, because they've been brainwashed.
So which is it? Can my people see reason, as you so aptly put it? Or are they mindless drones needing desperately to be saved by you? It cannot be both.
Saying you'd be foolish to write off dissenters. They'll find a way to undercut you. Right, let's talk about instead about your plan to save Arcadia. You know it's doomed, right?
For every traitor in our midst, thousands of loyalists remain. If anyone attempts to move against me, they are merely announcing themselves as the chaff to be cut. And they promptly will be.
Have you forgotten that you've alienated the Arbiters?
You'll note that all the brightest, most efficient Protectorate minds were assigned to the Sentinels to ensure the history of Arcadia is not sullied. But the Arbiters, they've quite outlived their usefulness. Just one more thing I intend to fix. The people will understand in time. They only care that they are provided for.
Let's talk about your plan to save Arcadia. You've got to know it's doomed to fail.
So you say. But you've yet to deliver any compelling evidence.
Madness is rarely apparent to one in its throes. I wonder, would you even be capable of hearing facts if we offered them?
I am the chosen shepherd of Arcadia and will not be spoken to like this. I am only doing what I must to restore this colony to what our matriarch envisioned. Free of war, strife, heresy. You must know that you have little chance of swaying me. I will not be distracted from taking what is owed to us.
I've seen the Matriarch's writing. You have no idea what she envisioned.
I will not be lectured by an outsider. It's just like the Earth Directorate, or any other interloper, to claim to better know the customs of those they invade. Certainly if you had your way, you would claim Arcadia as yours, and rewrite history to suit your own aims.
No, the Matriarch's son rewrote history. He betrayed her wishes, and this is the result.
It's true. Your matriarch suspected the Protectorate was doomed from the get-go. Reuben was mucking things up even before his mother's body was cold.
No. No, Reuben would not have gone against her. He was a stalwart protector of Arcadia to the end. We could all see his devotion. If he even attempted to bastardize the Protectorate cause, then we will have undone all of the Matriarch's work.
Yeah, but you're just as guilty as
I do
Reuben.
not dismiss that I was complicit. It was my duty to guide him to the best of my ability. But surely it cannot be possible that I've gotten this wrong. All your so-called arguments are pure hearsay. You came here claiming so boldly that I would fail, but you have yet to provide any proof. So where is it? What do you have?
Because this report is proof that your rift modulator will fail miserably.
Bah, a report. The abstract means little when compared to reality. Look outside. Is it failing now?
Yes, look close. Anything you restore will be reverted how it was just before destruction.
That's not true. Despite how things appear at present, with time, this station, all of Arcadia, and all of its people will be made whole.
People's bodies may become old, but their sense of self is gone forever.
So they will remain as shells upon reconstitution. Is that what you're saying? This would explain the anomalies we've encountered of late. I don't understand. Surely every step leading to this moment was in accordance to the grand plan. All the pieces fit. Either someone has made a terrible mistake, or this is merely a conspiracy to mislead us.
Oh, I don't have 7 speech. Goddamn, why is speech always 7? Alright.
You may try.
That's all we have.
Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
Check any
I have a fix on their weaknesses.
Troublemaker approved.
Scrambling enemy neural. method. Vitals are... Active. Torpification in progress.
I was really worried about hitting Auntie Cleo and Ruth. You're still here? Nice. Well, weird. Looks like I think we're about to wrap up the game here.
Inspect the ship systems so that we may decide the next course of action.
The Constitution has grown increasingly volatile and the Rift device has lost control capabilities. Closure of the Rift via conventional means is no longer possible. Brace for catastrophic event.
If the readouts are to be believed, the Rift is on the verge of destabilizing completely. But the Rift modulator cannot be operated from this distance. It must be flown into the Rift.
No room for error for something like that. Someone will have to be the human astrogator.
Though it may be troubling to you, this conclusion holds no uncertainty. Someone present must do this.
What about remote piloting the ship?
This is not possible. There is no set destination we can command the ship to fly to. The flying and the activation
Nice.
of the
We
modulator
love the
must be done
LGBT community.
The Order and I will use the schematics and the processed Rift data to mass-produce modulators that are usable at a distance. These pesky Rifts will soon no longer plague the colonies.
Well, we'll handle this.
I only ask everyone who leaves here today to remember my favorite number. Pi to the 1000th decimal.
I don't see why it has to be you, dear. I mean, I would, but I've spent much too much on prolonging my existence to cash out now. That is to say, thank you. You trusted us with the Rift technology. You can rest assured we'll put it to worthwhile use.
Thankfully, you need not rely on empty assurances. The Order will continue to experiment with the technology and safeguard its use.
The results of that test of leadership and character don't surprise me. And so it falls to others. All of you, stop fretting unduly. There's only one person here who can do this right. I'll fly the ship.
Can't think of anyone more capable to see this through to the end. But I'll miss you, Marisol. Lectures and all.
No need, I'll do this. What leader would I be if I didn't step up?
Very well. I see the deed is in competent hands. No rational reason for all of us to perish. I'll ensure the rest of humanity is saved, as we'd like.
It's been an honor working with you. Well, the outfit's the same. Venture forth. Venture forth.
The commanders sacrificed themselves to save the galaxy. No one knew their motives or thoughts in those final moments, though legends grew around this mythical agent of the Earth Directorate all the same. Thanks to the commander's quick thinking in sparing it from the Vox station's fiery crash, Paradise Island's Fairfield remained a profitable company town for Auntie's Choice. Auntie's Choice assumed control over the day-to-day workings of Matriarch's Mercy, the better to monitor their new colleagues in the Order. The monastery, however, returned to normal operation, tracking the clockwork of the grand plan.
All the things we did, all the
monastery's
choices we
abbot
made.
became a scapegoat for recent tragic events, having not detected Wiley's dastardly schemes. His superiors demoted him, mainly to show their corporatist allies that academics could keep their people in line too. After defending Fort Endurance against a fierce Mantisaur attack, Executive Warchek was awarded a commendation for profit-securing stalwartness, as well as promotion to regional manager. He eventually passed peacefully in his sleep at the scientifically astounding age of 6. Having died at the peace talks, Augustine DeVries' treachery was never known to the Earth Directorate. She is forever remembered as the
everything we could have done or done differently.
Went missing during her mission. Val continued to serve the Earth Directorate faithfully for many more years than should be possible, giving automechs like her everywhere a reputation as stable and reliable. As a result, more Valerie units were put into service, while fewer human agents were deployed into the field. As he rose through the Earth Directorate ranks, Niles pressed for a field directive to deploy the new Val units only when the situation posed significant risk. The policy reduced agent casualties by a significant margin. Oddly enough, in-office deaths increased by a not insignificant margin. Agent Niles Ibarra achieved the rank of commander, earning renown as a formidable agent, unafraid to challenge the status quo within the Earth Directorate. He recruited his friend Zebulon Tran to the Earth Directorate, a gesture of gratitude for not airing the Directorate's dirty laundry. Together, they vowed to reform the agency from within, so it might never again bargain with authoritarian governments. Ultimately, Niles rose to the position of Secretary General. His term saw the Earth Directorate at its most popular, or, in the eyes of corporations and tyrannical governments,
sad we never got to romance Niles.
Most feared. Following Inez's humiliation of Auntie's Choice VP Willard Conan, the grafting program was shuttered forever. Inez ensured that all surviving grafted soldiers received full medical treatment and were compensated for their suffering. Those who died from the experiments were honored. Utilizing what he learned alongside the commander, Tristan attempted to reform Protectorate society from within. But with no authority figure to lead its subjects, the Protectorate was a shell of its former self. Asa finally achieved her dream of dying in a rift. All it took was a daring and blood-soaked heist of a modulator to create a rift that she then summarily leapt into. Thus Asa remained a fanatical member of the Glorious Dawn, spreading the truth of the rifts to her final agonized breath. With the modulator schematics shared as joint intellectual property, Auntie's Choice and the Order's partnership remained steady, despite the need for constant compromise. For a time, the Arcadia colony thrived. Auntie Cleo went through the motions of accommodating the Order.
Yeah, I think we're at like 60 hours.
To keep free trade, anything but
it's
free.
Longer than the first game.
She began a new initiative. Any corporation or government that refused her trade conditions was promptly dealt with, either via takeover or strategic use of rifts. Auntie made her first public appearance in years, inspiring a fashion trend in bubble helmets. In no time at all, she won more public support than Ruth, which she sought to use
it's as long as
when the
the first game with both its DLCs combined.
To interface with the archive, an agonizing process that clawed away her lifespan. The archive computed that she was mistaken to compromise with the corporatists. To advance the plan, she needed to destroy them from within. So she proceeded to do just that. She had only been using the corporation for its logistical infrastructure. Auntie herself and at least some of her top executives needed to cease existing in Arcadia, either via assassination or skip drive-assisted exile. Bazaar stripped the power from the corporatists in subtle ways, until it was too late for them to stop her. Yet it remained unclear how long the Order could sustain its dominance once Ruth Bazaar passed on to become one with the equation. Adrift without firm leadership, Protectorate subjects struggled with post-war life. A small band of hardliners collaborated to preserve their society in the face of Arcadia's new leadership. When Sovereign Varric was discovered in mental refreshment, the Order and Auntie's Choice bickered over what to do with him.
Fair.
They ultimately decided to announce his death, while letting him live the rest of his addled days behind closed doors aboard the undisputed claim. Until one day, Amos stumbled upon the Sovereign's private quarters and freed him, rocking the colony with a brief scandal.
Of course.
Despite the recent tumultuous events in Arcadia, it was business as usual for Free Market Station. Sub Rosa continued to supply the colony in the wake of the commander's actions. Unable to die in their sacred rift after it was closed, the Glorious Dawn heeded a new calling, seeking the modulators needed to create new rifts, so that they could die in those instead. The dangerous experimental research of Marisol's contact from Point Obviation lived on, with a Seer predicted 11.9% probability of yielding a universe-ending catastrophe. Meanwhile, an entrepreneurial work group of chemistricians unveiled a new flavor of Purple Berry Crunch. The rifts across Arcadia and beyond were soon closed. Trade quickly resumed, with Auntie's Choice handling logistics. Yet, more than just goods and resources traveled the re-established trade routes. The Order's version of scientism spread as well. Many colonies stabilized, many thrived, and some even rose to an Arcadian level of prosperity. But there are still some that have never been heard from. All of these events turned on the decisive actions of the Earth Directorate agent and their unique way of navigating Arcadia. Its disparate factions, social complexities, ubiquitous product placement, and arsenal of absurdly satisfying weaponry.
Ubiquitous product placement.
And to this day, Earth has remained inexplicably dark.
The Outer Worlds 2. Completed the game on any difficulty. There it is. Credits achieved. Well, that was a very interesting ending. I'm very curious what all of the... Thank you, Moose. I'm very curious what all of the variations of the end game are. Because you obviously have the various ways you can navigate the conversation with the console. I suspect one of the outcomes is basically that you convince him to close the rift, which would be interesting. There's also the variations of which heads of the other groups are there. Is Auntie there, or is Ruth there, or neither of them? Because you don't have to enlist any of their help for the end game if you don't want. So you could have a situation where neither of them are there, and that'll change some stuff. And then there's also which teammates you bring with you. I suspect that if you bring Aza with you, she'll argue that her ultimate goal in life is to die in a rift. So you'll send her on the final mission instead of yourself. because that's kind of like her life's goal. And that's why they prompt her to tell you right before that mission, you know, that she wants to go. So you may not have to go in yourself. Or if there's an alternative where, you know, you find enough information that no one has to go into the rift. But to do that, you might have to have, you know, 20 points in a very specific set of skills. It definitely feels like at multiple points through the game, there were like essentially like level checks on some of the different traits, and there's no way on a first playthrough to get enough to save everybody, you know, to end every conversation without fighting. We managed to talk some people down and avert some disasters, but you probably can't avert all of them without more than the maximum number of points. So that's interesting. But yeah, I'd be very curious to see like an analysis of all the different ways that ending sequence can go, because I think they very well could end very, very differently depending on what traits you have and who you bring with you, and what information you've been able to access up to that point. Because also, like, there's always a version of this game where you don't have any allies, you go in, you know, you put everything into combat skills, you dismiss all of your teammates, you don't partner with anybody, and you just blast your way through everything. There's always that version of the game too. So, you know, they've managed to think through every possible sort of level in between there, which is pretty impressive. Overall, I thought the game was very good, and definitely everyone dies? Yeah, exactly. There's definitely that version. There's definitely a version of this game where you are just on a rampage the entire time and you're not talking with anybody. Or at least most people. You probably have to have, you know, some amount of conversations to get quests to happen, but you know. But yeah, overall, I thought the game was quite good. A definite step up from the first game. They kept a lot of the interesting things from the first game, a lot of the things that made the first game like worth playing, like the dialogue decisions and the kind of like life or death decisions you made with people's lives, and the way that everything you did seemed to matter. They kept all that, which is great, but they made it a little simpler allocating points into traits, which is good, because the first game was very complicated with that. I will say the flaw system in this game was significantly improved. I really loved the flaw system in this game. It's funny, I saw an article this morning pop up just out of the blue. I was scrolling my phone and an article came up where someone else on, I think it was Kotaku, posted an article about how they love the flaw system so much they kind of wish it would like pop up in other games. And I agree, I thought that was so good. And the way they balanced all of the pros and cons. It'd be very interesting to do another playthrough of this game and go for a completely different style of character, take completely different, you know, perks, flaws, etc. Because I think it would change a lot. You know, next time instead of the brilliant playthrough, we go through the himbo playthrough or something. I also think they overall improved like the movement, the combat, the companion abilities, the design of the worlds was really good, and I think a little bit more distinct and interesting in this one. So yeah, all around, you know, an improvement over the first game, and something I would recommend if you were a fan of the first game, certainly. So all right, we'll skip the rest. Okay, and here we are.
Congrats on reaching the ending. Well, an ending. Plenty more where that came from. How about another go? Additional playthroughs don't cost nothing. Yet.
I want to see... Yeah, so the save game right before you go, basically. There's the auto saves and then system save, point of no return.
Yeah. Ah, you're back.
So, anyway, that is the end of The Outer Worlds 2. So thank you everyone who came on that journey.